Hey guys, SaxDude26 here for the NES Timeline, bringing you a bonus part to Let's Play Castelian, where we're looking at the Game Boy version of the game. Not too different to its console counterpart, except now we're working with 4 bits instead of 8. We no longer have the difficulty select as an option, but otherwise, still the same adventure for Julius. We still shoot with the snowball gun, we still go up lifts, destroy blocks, destroy bouncing balls, avoid eyeballs, and make our way to the top of the first of 8 towers. So, otherwise, it's pretty much the same shtick that we've already gone through in the NES version, but with a few less bits to work with. Oh, that did not go well! However, today I primarily want to be focusing on the Japanese release of the game, in which our familiar frog friend Julius has been replaced with this bizarre toucan parrot hybrid thing known as Kuro-chan, who is the mascot of the Japanese chocolate company Moringa, who most notably manufacture chocoballs, of which he appears on every packet of them. The closest Western equivalent I can think of is either Maltesers, or if we're getting a little more abstract, I guess chocolate TV snacks is the only other equivalent I can think of off the top of my head. But yes, every Japanese localization of Castelian changes Julius into Kuro-chan. And he is no stranger to the NES and Game Boy already, because he's already had a game released on it. He previously was in a semi-adventure game, which I equate to a sort of bizarre hybrid of Pac-Land and Hamtaro Ham Ham Heartbreak, in which you walk around, find bizarre people here and there, you interact with them, and you try to help them solve their problems through the magic of chocolate. No, not through the magic of chocolate, just by interacting with them and helping them out with things. He also had a release on the PlayStation 1 as well, with a very sort of semi-average platformer that has a lot of bizarre confectionery-themed enemies and platforming going on. It's a pretty fun game, and it's pretty unique. And he definitely fits the bizarre world of Castelian, even if compared to Julius, he definitely stands out a whole lot more. Also, one very notable thing is that the little platforming segments between levels in the Game Boy version no longer have the atoms following you around everywhere, and you need to do the platforming in a time limit without being hindered by enemies. Of course, it's still focusing on having typical Castelian platforming physics, but it once again will not stop you from going to the next tower if you potentially drown yourself, which I appreciate because it would make progression very difficult. But yes, the rest of the game compared to the English releases functions exactly the same as Julius's adventures do, and this goes for the NES version as well. The main difference is that between bonus levels and the title screen, the music chosen for each in Kuro-chan is opposite to what it is for Castelian. The title theme for Castelian is actually the bonus theme for Kuro-chan, and vice versa. And other than Kuro-chan being changed in this game, nothing else is any different. He's the main primary change. Again, because there are no collectibles or anything, there's nothing that can really be themed more after confectionery like in his PlayStation game. Although, to be fair, I could very easily see all of the satellites, cubes, and atoms being changed around for, I don't know, UFO lollipops, for example, in place of the atoms. I could very easily see that happening. But to be fair, I think that's a Western thing as well. Nevertheless, it does add a nice kind of little spin on things that really spices up the... Oh, Kuro-chan, you're not quite as dexterous as your froggy counterpart. But yeah, the changes to everything definitely spice things up, I will say that much. It's a subtle change. Oh, and that skimmed my head. Okay. I am not an avid follower of the Kuro-chan lore, and I have not watched the cartoon, and I cannot comment much further than that. And we're doing pretty good. And I am noticing, though, that a lot of the screen wrapping, when things are wrapping around, does seem to shift things that are orbiting the tower in a way that I'm not entirely sure it's correct. But that might just be because of the fact that the tiling is very different and limited on the Game Boy. so it's probably not carrying across. And to be fair, I will make one correction compared to what I was saying before. There is one subtle difference compared to the English releases that does make Kuro-chan drastically different, which is that in the little bonus games, we're normally collecting the little sparkles as Julius. Whereas with Kuro-chan, we are actually collecting chocoballs. I didn't realize it at first, but then I thought, hang on a minute, those are chocolate-covered peanuts. Oh, I had a feeling getting back to Tower 4 was not going to go well. And just like that, we're back in the water. Oh, and the other crucially important thing, which I did mention during the playthrough, Japanese version both on NES and Game Boy has passwords, which is a pretty neat thing. I do kind of miss that in the English version because it means if you hit enter afterwards, you go straight back to the level you were just on. That's really neat. When I've been playing Castelian, I miss that immensely. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for Castelian here on the NES Timeline. This has been Saxdo26. Thanks for watching, and I guess we'll see you next time for another entry in the NES library. Catch you later. Japanese mascot for blah 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 blah. I am a duck. Look at me, I am a duck.